William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I welcome you to another Two Hats special of community events. Let's look in and see what's really happening.
All right, my name is Patti Erickson, and I'm here representing the Texas Recumbent Riders. We are a collective club of recumbent riders in the state of Texas, although we do have some members that have moved to other places, so we're starting to branch out a little more. But our purpose is just to promote the concept of riding recumbents to people who may not have tried this before. We believe that any bicycle that you ride is a good bicycle, but a lot of people never get comfortable on a regular bicycle. They have discomfort with their neck, their back, their wrists, things, or they have physical problems, either surgical problems or they have medical problems like neuromuscular diseases, stroke recovery, that sort of thing. Lots of reasons people cannot ride or do not want to ride a regular bicycle, but they can ride one of these. Now, what we have as examples today are two recumbent tricycles. They're both from a company called Catrike. Catrike is based in Orlando, Florida. But they're not the only recumbent trikes. There are many companies that make these. They make them in different configurations. Some of them have adjustable seats, either height or recline. Some of them have suspension, either front or rear or both. Some are full suspension models. Some are high performance for racing. Some are more for touring. These particular models are set up for touring. They each have 27 speeds, although the newer models from Catrike now come with 30 speeds. The bicycle that you see over here is what's called a low racer. In the recumbent world, there are many, many different configurations of recumbent bicycles. The bicycles are a little bit more difficult to ride only because there's a learning curve to each one of them. The balance point is a little different from a regular bicycle, and so when people get on them initially, their brain tells them this doesn't feel right, and they have to learn to adapt that. But the balance really is very similar once you're moving. It's just sometimes it's a little difficult for people to get the confidence to get started riding them. There are a lot of advantages to recumbents. Their comfort is the biggest factor, but they're very good for high performance. Recumbent bicycles and tricycles can go very fast. Tricycles, by nature, because of physics, they have three wheels, so they do tend to be a little bit slower overall than a bicycle, but depending upon the engine, which would be you, some people ride them very fast. I have friends that ride tricycles that keep up with very speedy bicycles all the time. So it's not necessarily a deficit, it's about how much effort you're willing to put into it when you ride. But mostly these are great for riding around town or riding across the country. The gearing on these is designed to ride, if you want to start in San Diego and ride all the way across to Jacksonville, Florida, you can do that. They've got the gearing already built in to do that. So they're very versatile. When I bought mine in 2008, I wasn't sure how much I would ride it. I discovered that because of the comfort, because of the enjoyment of riding, that I ride it 10 times more than I've ever ridden any other bicycle. I put several thousand miles a year on mine every year, and I don't ride it all the time. I have friends that put up to 10,000 miles a year on their tricycles, and so they're really well built. They're very hardy. They're very dependable. They don't give you a lot of problems. But they're very, very adaptable to a lot of specific needs that people might have, whether they need to adapt for hand cycles, that can be done. If they need to adapt for prosthetics of different kinds, whether they've lost a leg, they can do that. We have special pedals that you can fasten feet on so that they don't fall off. For safety reasons, we've outfitted children. You can outfit elderly people. Anybody, whether they've ever ridden a bicycle or not, can ride one of these tricycles in 2 minutes. With just a few minutes worth of explanation, as long as they have the physical ability to do it. A way that these are getting used a lot these days is with the Wounded Warrior Project, but they're also being used extensively for people with ataxia, which is a specific neuromuscular disorder. It's always fatal. It's progressively deteriorating, but people that have ataxia have discovered that if they can continue an exercise program, that it can stave off the effects of the disease for a longer period of time, so they're living longer through exercise. And exercise they can get with this, they do this because balance is one of the first things that they lose. You don't have to worry about balance on a tricycle. It's very stable and very comfortable and very dependable. Safety is another thing that I can tell you about. When you ride one of these, the first thing that people always ask me is, well, aren't you too low to the ground? Nobody can see you. Well, the fact is that if you're driving, when you're driving down the highway, if you see a beer can roll across in front of you, you'll swerve to avoid it even if you're doing 70 miles an hour. You see small objects, these are much larger. So yeah, you can be seen. They also have a footprint that makes them unique, so visually they stand out to motorists more than a bicycle. A bicycle inherently blends in with the same vertical lines within the landscape, whether it's telephone poles, buildings. There's lots of vertical in the horizon line. Bicycles blend in with those very easily, and it's easy to miss them. As a motorist myself, I look for bicycles, but sometimes I don't see them until I'm very close to them because they're just hard to spot. These are different. They create a different look. They get people's attention. So when I'm riding, people behind me slow down. They see me sooner. They slow down. They move over and they smile and wave as I go by, which is not something you get on a bicycle. A lot of times you get waving, but it's not a happy wave. And so it makes a huge difference in your ride. Also, because they're stable, bicycles, you actually have to spend a lot more time than you realize focused directly on the road in front of you, looking for hazards like cracks and potholes and things, because you can end up on your head. With these, it's just a bump in the road. So when you ride one of these, you get to actually enjoy where you are. You can look around more. You have a camera, you can shoot photos. You can really enjoy the ride more. And so if you want to ride it for speed and performance, you can. I rode mine, one of my other trikes, in the Dallas Senior Games this year. It was the first time they were allowed us to compete. So I was able to ride in the Senior Games and compete with a recumbent. But some of them can go very fast. Some of them are great for touring. Some of them are great for just going to the grocery store or going to the doctor's office, or just, and then you can spend that time enjoying yourself and not spending money on gas driving your car. I use mine a lot like that, and I haven't really taken the time to calculate up how much money I haven't spent on gasoline, but I use mine to run errands to the store, to the pharmacy, to the doctor's office, to the dentist office, that sort of thing. And that's all time I don't have to spend behind the wheel, so I'm not contributing to air pollution. I'm not spending money on gas. So it paid for itself a long time ago.
This is William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please leave comments below, or like, follow, or subscribe to us and get notices of all our videos. We love it, even when you call.